What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. This is the biggest preview of the season. Gary's got the logo up. Sing it in, Gaz.
The champions!
In French.
Oh,
Anyway,
mate,
Paris.
I've got to start off with just like and subscribe and talk about the comments, right? Because we had a fabulous comment from a Forest fan of our thing where I'm saying we couldn't even batter a sausage, and it made me laugh.
Right,
And
look.
I just went, there's a local chippy with a 2-for-1 offer, and like Marlon and Rogers, I've finished them off deliciously. And now I'm getting ready for our Champions League fixture against PSG.
Yeah, I will just say the Forest one, I just decided to clickbait the hell out of them. Put in...
Turn the cog.
Just stir in that pot, mate. But anyway, Forest is done. Big win. But this is an even bigger game.
This is it, mate.
This is it. This is what football's all about. This is it,
mate. This is, we've talked about this a lot, and we talk about the levels, right? And now this is it. This is it. This is the biggest test we'll have faced all season. Paris have won their league with 6 games to go, undefeated. Yeah. Like the way they destroyed Liverpool in both legs, really. Of that round of 16. It's going to be a really tough game. It is going to be a tough game, mate.
Understatement of the century, isn't it? I mean, it's going to be probably one of the hardest games we've ever played. I'm just kind of sitting there going, when majority of people wouldn't consider us to be anywhere on their level, right? But we are on their level because we're playing them in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. So we've made it. We've done the same things as them, and arguably we've actually done better in the Champions League than they have. Now the question is whether they continue their form and we hit the PSG that played Liverpool, or whether we hit the PSG in the league phase. Because if we hit the PSG in the league phase, mate, I'm not confident. No. Absolutely not confident. But I still feel like we can do something. Like, I don't feel like this is impossible. Well, I feel like there's been times in the previous seasons where we've played like Man City or something, and I've just been like, "Oh, fuck it, we're just going to get battered here." Whereas I'm not thinking that here.
No, I think this is the time where the only thing that could undo us, for me, is whether we play the game or the occasion, and can our players who've got the lack of experience. Now, that's my only worry. However, and saying that, we've also got 2 people within our setup that could navigate this brilliantly and keep us grounded. One is Emery, in the fact that he knows about the humiliation at this time where Paris lost to Barcelona. You remember that game where they won 4-0 at home and then lost 6-1 away, right? That was the end of Emery, really. I think he kind of destroyed him in Paris. I don't think he's going to have a repeat of that. And then the other one is the player we've got on loan from them is Asensio, who's got probably more Champions League experience than for both squads. Do you know what I mean? And if there's anyone that can kind of get us to play in the right way, now we've got to go there and play our game, right? Don't be scared, and just do what we know we can do. That yes, they've got fabulous players going forward, and they've been brilliant this year. But like you just alluded to there, they weren't great in the league phase. They weren't, and even in the knockout thing that they played, obviously a team in Brest which overachieved in the group stage anyway. And I know they won convincingly 10-0, but where were they in the French league? Brest, I don't even know where they are. Where are they?
Brilliant watching this is. It's great entertainment.
Well, unless they haven't put me there, because I've got the league table in front of me, and they're called something else. I don't know. Are they called something else? But Brest is. Oh yes, sorry. They're 8th. They're 8th in the French league. And so they've only really played well against Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of so. And even their result at the weekend, Paris, they beat Angers, who were 14th. They played them at home, 1-0. Now that was the game that wins them the league. I don't know. And their previous results, I think they'd won 4-1, 6-1. So
actually battered teams, to be fair.
You know, they have, but I'm just saying, look, in a team that's 14th, you would think they probably would have gone on to the same. Now, whether that was a little bit of nervousness, you know, we are going to this game as underdogs. So I'm not, like you said, I'm not confident. I'm hopeful that we can do a job and come away. And we've said this before.
One goal in it.
One goal, mate. That's what we said. We said one goal. Come on.
One goal in it, because we can bring them back to Villa Park. We can come out all guns. We can score early, and it's even parity. And it's basically then a 75, 80-minute game. That is it. Like that is it is a 75, 80-minute fixture.
And we all know, mate, Paris aren't going to play with 9 men behind the ball.
No,
they're just not.
There's going to be space. There's going to be space. And we need to show them respect, but we don't need to sit off them. We're not going to. And I don't think our players will. I think our players are so confident in themselves and in their abilities that they will be like, yeah, I'll have you. Like I'm taking this on. And you've got players like, you know, Luca Dean, like plays for French international. You've got like Asensio, previous PSG. You've got Rashford, who beat PSG with Man U. You've got Emery, who is the manager. You've got bloody hell. Unfortunately, Donny Marlin isn't in the bloody team. But then you got Maatsen, who was a Champions League finalist last year. It's like they are there. We have the players.
I feel for Maatsen, because I think with the current performance in the last 2 games, it'd be ideal for this game. But you know, that's the Champions League stupid 25, whatever it is.
Yeah,
you know,
you really got a feel for him. But anyway, first things first, got to have predictions. So we're going to write these down.
Got my special Swarovski pen. So if they want to sponsor any episodes, mate, get them in. There are other pens available, but this one, you know, there we go.
Including permanent markers from Wilco's.
There we go. We don't discriminate, mate.
Where there's a Wilco's, there's a way. But anyway,
mate, that pen's probably worth millions now. There's Wilco's.
Yeah. Maybe this is like rare. So we're going to write down our predictions, and then we will reveal them at the end of this podcast. So you can either skip through, or you can listen to us drone on to find out what.
Please pop your prescriptions. If you need any prescriptions picking up, I'm free and available to do that too. But if you want to put your predictions for the game, you can also put that in the comments.
Fucking prescriptions.
Mate, do you know why that is? Because I just went to pick up my daughter's prescription this morning.
Brilliant.
It's been on my brain. There you go. I'm funny.
I'm going for it. Right. Okay. That's done. Yeah. I just can't. I can't explain. I can't really fathom how big this game is. I think the players know it. The country knows it. It's just absolutely huge.
Well, mate, and everyone's against us. No one's given us the pundits in particular, just kind of like, Villa are having a great season, but no, Paris is one step too big.
And I still stand by it. Actually, Claret and Blue podcast. Claret and Blue podcast had Fletcher on, commentator. Graham Fletcher. Graham Fletcher.
No, from TNT Sports.
Yeah.
He sounds older than he looks as well. I think he's like a 30-year-old bloke who sounds about 70. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, his voice doesn't match his physical physique. It's weird.
They had him on, and they were talking to him about, like, because obviously he's done like the Champions League games, like commentary and stuff. And he was saying the same as what, and apparently him and McCoist were chatting, and they were saying the same as what I was saying. If we can get past PSG, we can win this thing, because they are arguably, yes, okay, there's Madrid and stuff, but I still think PSG are the hardest team left in this tournament. And if we can get past them, there's no reason why we cannot win this thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if PSG are the best side in it. They certainly were the best side in the round. They were the best side in the round of 16, mate. They're
the favourite. They're favourites based on current form, based on
they're
the favourites now. At the moment, they are the favourites.
If you look at current form, right, these are Villa and Villa and PSG's current form. How mental is that?
Look at the amount of goals, but they concede, don't they?
They do concede. Right,
we only conceded twice.
They've conceded against Dunkirk.
Dunkirk.
Yeah. I think that's it. Dunkirk, yeah. Saint-Étienne, they've conceded. Marseille scored against them. Rennes scored against them. You know,
they're vulnerable.
They're not impenetrable. You know, and they also, you know, haven't got massive success in the Champions League either. My one to watch is Real Madrid, because however poor Real Madrid look, they've got so much experience and so much depth and so much like kind of quality. I just think they're the team to beat, mate. I think that's anyway.
Let me dream. Right. Let me dream. Look, let me dream for a bit, right?
You can dream. Okay, well, okay, but just quickly, the odds for if you're betting people, home win is 2-5 for Paris to win.
Ooh, bloody hell!
Right? Draw 19-5. This is on Sky Bet, by the way.
Almost one.
And away result,
what are our odds?
6-1.
That's good. That's worth a tenner. That's worth a tenner, mate. Like yeah. I mean, I've still got a bet on Villa to win the Champions League outright.
Well,
which was 31-1.
Well, we've got the same odds as Borussia Dortmund have got beating Barcelona at the away. So,
I still find that a bit mental. Like, at the end of the day, none of the, you know, it's the quarterfinals of Champions League. None of these teams are rubbish. Everyone's like a good level, and it's like all it takes is a slightly dodgy performance from one of the teams. Obviously, it's 2 legs, but obviously you're saying that is based on these 90 minutes.
Yeah.
But all it takes is just a dodgy, I don't know, 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Look, mate, look, if football was as easy to predict as they make it out to be, like, it'd be boring, wouldn't it? No one would ever watch it. The fact of the matter is, no one knows what's going to happen. It depends on the day, how we turn up, how we set up, and how we play that game. Like I said, we need to play the game and not the occasion. It's a massive occasion, right? And we just, like I say, we need to come away not being more than the goal down. Whether that's 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, whatever it is, right? We've got to give ourselves a fighting chance.
And it doesn't. And even if, you know, if we came away 2 goals down, like, it's not the end of the tie, but it'll be, you'll be playing for extra time, if you know what I mean. Like, you'll be trying to get that.
You're playing to their hands. If we come away 2-0 down, we've got to go for it at home. It leaves us vulnerable to counter attack. They get one more goal, the game's over. So it's kind of like it's all these buts and maybes, but we've just got to believe. We have to believe we can go there and get a result. And I don't see why we can't. Our form's great. We've got players coming back. We've got depth in the squad. Like, it's not beyond the realms of possibility to think we can do that.
It's interesting the way Emery talks about it. I've heard a few times when they've been asking him about, like, you know, you're fighting on 3 fronts, blah blah blah. And I might just probably just read into it. It's probably just what he says and stuff. But he's been saying we want to compete.
Yeah.
So he's just saying. But like, I say that as I see that as all we want to do is be in the game, like, to compete. Like, we don't think we're going to win it. We just want to show a good account of ourselves. That's the way I kind of hear it. But obviously, I mean, he's a man. He's not going to say we're going to win it, because he's not like that. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, to be honest, I think that's all we can wish for is just compete. Don't let it be an absolute drubbing. I'd love to have that moment Newcastle had last season when they beat PSG.
Yeah.
You know, they beat PSG at home, and it was just this unbelievable atmosphere, and it felt like basically whatever happened, it felt like they'd won the Champions League regardless.
Yeah.
And I just want a bit of that. I want a bit of that feeling.
Because that euphoria that brings, like that, you know, the magic, like just like when we beat Bayern at the start of the season, like it
obviously that was a massive win, but the importance, obviously, it was a massive occasion. It was the first game back, all that kind of stuff. But like, the importance of it being in the knockout phase is just like this whole other level of euphoria. If we, you know, doing something against a giant like PSG in the quarterfinals of the Champions League would arguably be majority of the people who are going to that games, like, highlight of their entire Villa fan life. Yeah. You know, it's unbelievable. I mean, Bayern was incredible. Bayern was amazing, but this is going to be something else.
Oh yeah, of course, mate. This is next level, because this is knockout football. This is not like a league phase where we could have had. You still got 6 more games left to turn it around. This is now or never. You either turn up and play, or you're out. Like it's as simple as. And arguably, you know, we're not minnows in this tie. You know, where the pundits are saying it, like we have a serial winner at the helm with Emery. You know, he's won like record-breaking 4 Europa League titles, right? Now, I know he's not won the Champions League, but there's a pedigree to that. Like he knows what he's doing here. This isn't like a going to the game naively. Plus, he's got a point to prove against PSG, where he was treated harshly. Like I still think if you'd given Emery time at either PSG or Arsenal, you'd be looking at 2 very different sides now. Like well, maybe not PSG because they're going to dominate the French league anyway. Regardless, they've won it like 11 times in the last 14 seasons. It's ridiculous, right? So. But certainly at Arsenal, I don't. I think there's probably lots of Arsenal fans that would say maybe we should have kept him because he probably would have won him something by now, either the league or.
There was an interesting stat on they're talking about it on TalkSport, and his win percentage at Arsenal was better than it is at Villa.
That's mental because he's the highest. One of the records is the highest win percentage rate for any Villa manager. 54%. It is.
But he had a higher win. He had a higher win percentage
when crazy that isn't it?
Arsenal. He just didn't connect with the fans. He just didn't connect for whatever reason. And and obviously there was things like the language barrier and stuff at the time. His English wasn't as good and that kind of thing. But
I think all that highlights to me, mate, is that the Brummie accent is far more understandable than the Cockney accent, and so therefore Emery stayed and he's building a revolution. Sorry, Arsenal fans, particularly Josh, if you're watching, mate.
Yeah. Anyway, right, on to our lineups. So we've had some technical issues with Gary. So Gary, unfortunately, hasn't been able to get his lineup to me. But this is my lineup. I think he's going to go kind of tried and tested 11. I think he's going to go with Digne, Mings, Konsa, Cash at the back. I thought about Garcia, but I was like, yeah, okay, he did really well the weekend, but I'm like, I just feel like a little bit more experience would be nice. Kamara, Tielemans, Rashford on the left, although I wonder whether he might play JJ. Asensio, Rodgers, and Watkins. I think he will go with Watkins up top because I think we might go a little bit more direct.
No, that's I agree with most of that.
Yeah, I know you have differences here, right?
I do have differences, and my only differences are I really like Garcia, and he showed. I think taking him off at half time against Forest was a mistake. I think he unbalanced our defence. I think he did really well first half in that game. I understand probably why he won't make the squad because of experience, but I think he's good enough. I do, and I love how direct he is. Like he wants to beat a player and get a cross in. Tried that numerous times and took on the fullback against Forest.
Hang on, he's not in Champions League squad, is he?
Oh, of course he's not, is he? Oh,
we keep doing this. We keep doing this.
Oh,
we had Discassi who's cup tied. We had Marlon can't play in the Champions League.
No, you're right, mate. This is it's frustrating. This is what's frustrating about them joining through partway through the season because both of them probably have earned the right to give up to play at the level. Okay, so that scraps that. So the other option would have been Discassi, but I just think he's not. The way he can play right back, the way he played against Forest on Saturday, he got drawn so narrow, like he exposed us. So it will be Cash. And Cash is good enough to play there. Just hopefully his quality going forward can be a little bit better. That's what we need.
Yeah.
So we'll stick with that. But my only other changes the debate will continue on this. But Watkins stays on the bench for me. Like he had probably arguably his worst game in a Villa shirt on Saturday, and didn't offer anything. The only thing he did was tap thingy up on the bum when we scored, which was great. But other than that, I think you keep with I'd put Rashford up top and Ramsey in, and see what happens.
I mean, potentially. I mean because I do think we'll play a bit more direct in this game. I think we'll play some more balls on the top, which actually maybe is better for Rashford. I don't know, but equally Rashford running on the left will cause them problems as well. I personally
they will be weary of Rashford because what he did against them for Man United. They know his pace, they know he's dangerous. So that this isn't something they're going to go into lightly. They're going to have to, but what we're going to need to see from Rashford is a little bit more work rate off the ball, because he'll have the opportunities to run in behind. It's whether he's willing to make the runs, because he didn't do that against Brighton, and he got in with the ball over the top, and same again on Saturday. McGinn played a beautiful pass to him, and he was onto it, and Sal's made a good save. So that's definitely an avenue we've got to explore in this game. We just need him to be on the money, and hopefully, Champions League will G him up and he'll get to that. So I think if we can be direct, mate, I just worry again. Rodgers, he's played every minute, man, and he was great first half on Saturday, but kind of fizzled out towards the end and missed a great chance. But still, I don't think Emery's going to drop him anytime soon. So let's just hope he can maintain the levels, really, because he's been arguably our best player this year.
It's going to be a real cauldron at PSG, and I think it'll be interesting to see how our players react to it. Like, I mean, we haven't been amazing away from home in the Champions League in general, or in Europe over the past couple of seasons, and this is going to be a real cauldron of noise. It's going to be a really hostile atmosphere.
So on that note, mate, the hostile atmosphere, I read some stuff this morning on, I think it was Sky Sports, just kind of, if you're travelling, guys, just be safe, because
because the English fans particularly it's quite bad.
It sounds like it can be quite hostile. It sounds like they pen you in like after the game as well, like for a good 45 minutes to an hour. So if anyone wanted to cause any trouble, they could easily just wait, and kind of you're all going to be coming out into a very hostile environment. So and if we win or get a result, God,
leave early.
Just be careful, guys.
5 minutes, if we're winning 5 minutes before the end, just take that as a win and get out there sharpish.
Well, you won't be allowed out, mate. It just sounds like
they won't let them out.
They pen you in for 45 minutes to an hour. So just I guess that's for your safety, but at the same time, I don't imagine it being a friendly kind of just wait here for me, please, sir, or escort you out sort of thing. So if you're travelling, guys, just be safe. Wish we were there with you. I'd have loved to have gone, but
Madrid.
Stay safe.
So I'll settle with Madrid. It's fine.
Yeah.
But who do you think who are the key people for us to watch, or who are the key people, our players that need to step up and have the game of their lives?
Well, for me, I mean, they've been great, haven't they, so far? But Rashford and Asensio, with the experience they bring, really have to perform. I mean, I assume Asensio is going to want to against the team that have barely started him. Rashford, again, what we just talked about. Kamara and Tielemans are the key to this game, mate. I think start. I think, if they can have the games that they've had, like Tielemans has got, he had a great game on Saturday. And I know Kamara didn't start, but when he did come on, we looked a little bit more steady than we did before he was on. So that's where it's at. And then, of course, defensively, Dina's got a massive game, mate. Can he keep Dembélé in his pocket?
But mate, the guy always seems to come up with the goods.
Yeah, mate, I can't fault him. Absolutely.
Digne just has this knack of somehow keeping these absolute world stars quiet. He just keeps them quiet. And obviously, I'm not he did it with Salah. He did it with, and these aren't world stars, but players with pace. So Traore and Mbomo and all those ones where basically everyone's like, oh, you got to watch out for them. He just managed them.
Yeah, brilliantly.
And, it's in his home nation. He kind of knows what's going on there. I won't bet against Digne. I won't bet against Digne.
That's what I'm saying. I think his part to play is massive. Like that kind of area of the field with cover for him as well. So whoever, that's why I think
for me the one who needs to step up in this game is Mings.
Oh well, yeah.
For me, I'm just like Mings has to have
no mistake. The game of his life.
No mistakes. Game of his life. Beast in the air, because they will put balls in, and he just needs to be. He needs to be solid. He needs to be the voice of that back four. Because if we could, the point is that if we can keep our back four solid, we will get chances.
Yeah, I agree.
Will probably score.
I'm just really hopeful, mate.
You can't lose. You can't lose.
Yeah, well, no, of course. Thanks for that kind of bit of info. I didn't know that. That's filled in. Newsflash, everyone! If we don't concede, we won't lose. And if we score, we might win. Right?
Yeah. The only way you can win a game is by scoring a goal.
Just put it in the onion bag, right? Emery's team talk. Go and put the ball in their net more times than they put it in ours. Right? Simple. No, I think you're right. I hope he doesn't play Torres, not because I don't think Torres is good enough, but just because of the pace issue. They've got bags of pace, haven't they? PSG.
We dealt with Forest pace well, and I feel like that it'd be interesting to see if he does identify Matson or whether he does identify Matson as a need because the pace as well. But I just feel like Luca Dean's so solid defensively. I think he might put Matson on in the second leg when we want to be a bit more on the front foot, possibly. But
possibly.
Yeah, I don't know. But oh mate, I'm just fucking terrified. I'm getting butterflies. I feel sick.
Yeah, Matt. I'm got the butterflies. I'm looking forward to this game. I want Wednesday to come. I just want it to be here.
I'm also hoping that I'm hoping that Henry just lets me watch it in peace.
I might even, for our lovely fans on TikTok, might do a live because I think my emotions are going to be all over the place.
Are you going to go to the pub to watch it?
Potentially. Okay. It all depends on whether my daughter's got training for Chesterfield because a load of her team have just flew out to America. So I don't know if we've got training on Wednesday yet because it depends on how many's available.
If you're not, I might be able to do a watch along with you.
Ooh,
potentially.
But I might do that anyway, mate, because just for our adoring fans, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I probably can't do that, but keep me kind of chatting because obviously I get drawn into the game, and as we discovered on our very first live video, sat there in silence looking at the TV.
I mean, that was the worst game you could have possibly done it for Monaco.
Well, it was the worst.
That, by the way, is another prime example of what we can do.
That would
be dreadful. Predictions then, Gaz. You got yours in front of you?
I've got mine, yeah. I've got it.
Right. 3. This is less of a prediction, more of a hope.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even a hope. No. I mean, it's a pretty pessimistic hope.
This would be a dream score for me, mate. What I'm going to write to line up.
Okay.
Dreaming of it.
3, 2, 1. Oh, okay.
Oh, 2-1. Okay. I've gone in the hope. I've gone 1-1, mate.
I just want to be. I want to be within a goal. I just want to be within a goal. I feel like within a goal is almost for us. I mean, it's not as good as a draw, but it gives us something to play for. If we bring them back to Villa Park, it's like 3-4-1. The atmosphere is going to be so difficult to get.
Yeah.
To get
no, I mean, that is a dream score for me because to bring them back to Villa Park level, right, and to win the game like 1-0. Imagine the scenes in front of the whole end. Even Watkins to step up and score off the subs bench. Do you know what I mean? And then I'll get Watkins printed on my away shirt if that happens. It will happen.
If it happens, I'll get a PSG shirt and I'll get Villa 25 on the back. That's what I would do. But yeah, mate, I don't know. I'm excited. I don't know what to say now. I'm kind of at the point now where
mate, absolute mess. I think you summed it up. Let's just win the game, put the ball in the net, don't concede.
Like I say, like I always say to you at the when we're at the Villa and we're watching it, it's just nervy. I'm like, where's the football manager holiday mode? I just want to skip. Yeah. Can I just skip 90 minutes, please, to get to the end of this game and know what the result is because I can't handle it.
The thing is, you know what? How great it is to be feeling this way about a Champions League quarterfinal. I still can't I have to pinch myself that we're even talking about it.
I think he's doing something.
No, it feels. I feel like I'm in a dream anyway. So regardless of what happens in this game, we've done brilliantly well. Do you know what I mean? To get to this stage, and so there's no shame in going out to PSG. But I think as long as we make a good account of ourselves, mate, I'll be happy.
Do you think now whatever happens, the season's a success?
Yes, I do, because yes and no. I think yes because we've been challenging on 3 fronts, right? Yeah. And no other team in Europe's doing that at the moment, right? And we're in a great run of form at the minute. And if we end it empty-handed, I can safely say I feel like we've given it a good go. We've started to build something. Now the problem is PSR and getting players through the door to go to the next level to push, because if we get something, if we win a trophy this year, whether it be FA Cup, Champions League, right, and finish as high in the league as we can, and gain that European space, I really think next year is going to be massive, mate. There's even talks. I've read it today. Like, could we realistically push for a title challenge? Look at teams next year, right, that are going to be losing players. Man City aren't where they need to be.
Well,
Liverpool
whatever.
are going to lose probably Van Dijk, Trent, Salah.
We don't know what's going to happen with Man City.
No, they could
Might not even
hopefully
be
be
in the
playing League
league.
One football, mate. You just
They might not even be in the league.
Chelsea.
You're right though. Liverpool, they're going to be losing big players. Chelsea are kind of just still a bit up and down. Forest, arguably, I mean, they might do, but you'd argue they probably won't do this again next season because they might also have Europe, or they will have European football. I'm willing
to put money on it that it's on Emery's checklist. I bet you any money, if he wins a trophy this year, I bet he'll be thinking league title.
If we're challenging for the title next season, I will cry. I am like, I can't.
Mate, that is my hot take for this episode.
Is he right? Okay, and is he? I mean, right. Is he the best manager in the Premier League?
Bar Guardiola, because of his credentials and what he's won previously.
No, 100%. People say this about Guardiola, and I kind of get it, Guardiola. But the guy, everywhere he's gone, has unlimited resources. Yeah. He's literally he's signed whoever he wants, done whatever he wants. He's also generally joined the best team in the league by an absolute mile. And I'm like Emery's done this with Villa.
Yeah.
Like, would Pep have come in and done this with Villa? I don't think he would have.
I don't. Yeah, it's difficult to say because Pep's never done it. But the fact that
I don't think he'd ever would, because he'd be like, I think he'd be too fucking shit scared that he's going to go to shit.
Emery's the proof's in the pudding, isn't it? Like, people will say, "Oh, well, he failed at Arsenal and PSG," but if you look at what he did at Villarreal, Sevilla, like these are teams that had no right to.
And he's evolving. He's still evolving as a manager. He's still getting better. It's not like he just started amazing. Like, as in, I'm not saying he's a better manager than he was, but there's elements of it that play better into the league, and being, like I said, speaking his English is better. Like he talks about connecting with the fans because he knows how important that is, whereas he wasn't doing that when he was with Arsenal. He's at a smaller team who are happy to give him what he needs and build it up around him, so it's making him be the best he can be. And I'm just kind of sitting there going, I can't think of a better manager, a better kind of. Like, he's also done a number on Pep numerous times since he's over at Villa. And I'm like, and it's all fucking falling apart for Pep, because all of a sudden there's been a bit of dodgy stuff within the team, and they've lost a couple of players, and it's all just falling apart for him.
Yeah, mate, I'm convinced. Give him, if given our own stick around and Emery sticks around, I think we've got an unlimited ceiling to where we could go. I think we could go up to the next level. I do, because, like you said, with the players that he's had in this squad, he's got the best out of them. Give him a couple more seasons to actually have his more signings, better signings.
Can you imagine more signings of the level of what he's done? I can't actually, other than, I mean, some of the signings I think were more business based, like Baranachea and Ealing Jr. and that kind of thing. I think they were more business.
Mate, PSR. That was PSR.
Yeah. It's all commercial stuff, right? Yeah. Whereas the players he's actually wanted and brought in, they've all been. I mean, Anana's probably but mainly through injury. They've all been just another level.
Yeah,
an absolute other level. And if we can get another, like I said, I think we said the other day, 3 or 4 more, bloody hell.
These last few weeks with players coming back from injury, it suddenly just felt
mental.
I don't know how you feel about it, but it feels like they're playing as a squad, not a team. Yeah. So it feels like people that aren't starting aren't going, "Oh, I'm not getting minutes." It's like, well, actually, I'm ready to come on and do a job and try
finishing the game. So they start, they talk about starters and finishers, right? Like, they talk about the fact that we don't have a first 11.
Yeah.
It's not a first 11. It's just the team that starts the game, and it's the team that ends the game. That we've talked about the fact that when we're sitting there, we're going, what's he going to do? Because we've got, Asensio on the bench, or we've got Ramsey on the bench. We've got McGinn who can come on. He's quite physical. We've got so many options.
Well, mate, look at Saturday when that lineup. None of us predicted that, did we? We were like, "Fuck, what's going on here?" Like, you're like, "Is this our second team?" It's like, are we putting out like it was just
another team? It's just another. I think that's the thing now. It's just another set of players from our incredible squad.
But then look at that first half performance from that squad. It
was amazing.
It was unbelievable, mate. The guy's a genius. I take it any negative criticism. I think he's an absolute footballing genius.
If Emery wins something, if he wins the FA Cup, is he? How close is he, or is he the best manager we've ever had? I mean,
if we win silverware this year, we don't call it Villa Park anymore. We call it Emery Park. That's what we call it. Like
Unai Park.
Unai Park. We rename it, mate. We build statues. We put pictures of his face all around the stadium, right, on your seats, on your mugs. Those pie things that they had at Brighton. You'll have a picture of Emery as you're eating your pie.
You just got our new sponsors, just like
a picture of him, mate. I'll be like Alan Partridge, where I've just got a tattoo on my belly, and when I meet him, it'll be like that, and he can just side his face. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
And he'll go,
like I said,
I'm a bit scared.
I want to skip forward to the end of the season, know what happens, and then just rewind and just enjoy. When you watch when you know the result of a game, and then you watch it record, or you watch Match of the Day on the evening, you're like, I'm just going to bask in this.
Yeah, mate. It's a bit like watching the playoff final over again. I've got the record. I look back, and that was next level. The euphoria. El Ghazi, McGinn, McGinn's been on this journey. Like, just come on, let's just do it for him. Do you know what I mean? Imagine.
Quick one on McGinn. What do you think? What's the deal with McGinn now? Do you think because we were just talking about you don't have a first 11 and stuff, but like obviously you want to start games, and he's not starting now because Tielemans and Kamara are just so solid. You want Rodgers on the pitch, and you've got Asensio and Rashford, so it's hot. There's no place for him to start there unless it's the type of game where he needs him. What do you think? Because I said to you, does he stay captain next season?
Yeah, it's a real tough one because I think while McGinn brings a lot to the team in terms of energy and heart, and he's a complete engine room. Quality wise, he's not the best midfielder we've got.
Yeah,
but knowing McGinn and having met him a couple of times, mate, he'll work for that team, like regardless of where you're playing. Like, and actually, when he came on Saturday, he was great. I thought he did really well. And then he started against Brighton. I think he'll still have starts against various teams. Like, I guarantee he'll start against Southampton. Right? I think he's got a massive part to play. I just don't think he's going to be I think while you've got a fit Kamara and a fit Tielemans with what they can do, you're not going to break that partnership up. It works really well. It's almost like an advanced Kamara and Dougie 2.0. Do you know what I mean? I think Tielemans has been a revelation this year. He's absolutely been our most consistent player, but bar Rodgers. Do you know what I mean? They've more or less have played the most minutes. And I think if Kamara had been fit, he'd have played every minute too. But I think for McGinn, it's one of those where he just has to suck it up, and when he's called upon, do what he can do, because he just brings like stuff to the game. He can play. He has got a great vision. He can play good defense splitting passes, but he's not as good as Tielemans at doing it, and he's not as good as Kamara at getting forward. So it's a tough one. But
he's 30, turns 31 in October. He's under contract till 2027. So I think I love McGinn. I think the great thing is like you said, he's come up from the Championship with us. He's been in that story. He's one of our longest standing players now, like in the current squad, and he's just like, he gets it, and the fans get him, and he's just brilliant. He's just pure passion, and just like he's just a workhorse. And obviously, he's been a captain for the past few seasons.
I think he'll probably stay around. I think because even when he gets to the end of that contract,
my prediction is I think he probably won't be captain next season. Yeah. I think because he doesn't start enough. I think it will be, like you said, I think you said possibly Kamara. Yeah. I think if we sign Asensio, it could be him. Yeah. And then I think so with him then not being captain, and then it coming to summer 2026 with a year left on his deal, I think if a Scottish club comes in for him, or like Celtic or someone comes in, then I think we look to cash in. If I'm honest,
if it stays as it is within the setup of the club with the owners and manager, I think what he brings to the dressing room alone, like, will be similar to what Jordan Henderson did at Liverpool. Even though Henderson probably should have left Liverpool a couple of seasons before he did, I think there's a lot to be said about having a presence in a dressing room that gets the team galvanised, and I think McGinn does that brilliantly. I think everyone speaks very highly about him at the club. So yeah, maybe towards the end, but I think he might want to stay, and maybe even
he has always said
maybe he could be our new set piece coach, mate, and get rid of McPhee.
The Scottish as well. He has always said he'd go back to. I think he said he'd like to end his career, maybe back in Scotland. I'm sure I read that somewhere.
Back to Hibs to retire.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. Yeah.
Well, mate, you go with the best.
You can see him now 32, 32 years of age, and he's done it and potentially won silverware at Villa. He's won in the English leagues. He's playing the Champions League. He's done everything really.
Yeah. If he wins a trophy, mate, I think he'll go with his head held high, and he'll be a Villa legend.
How good would it be? FA Cup, John McGinn holding the cup up at the end. Oh, mate. I want to cry.
Dreams, mate. Dreams. Anyway, we've waffled on now because.
yeah. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, I sidetracked us with John McGinn.
Just want it to be reality, mate. I want us to get to the end of April, and we're looking at finals.
Where the fuck's holiday mode? I just want to know if we win the FA Cup and whether we get to the semis of the Champions League. That's all I want to know. Anyway, if you've managed to stick with us for all that waffle for the last 10 minutes, which has been completely unrelated to the title of this video, if you want to subscribe, that'd be great. Like, comment, let us know what you think. What do you think about the McGinn situation? What do you think about PSG? Are we going to do it? What's the result going to be? What are we hoping for? And we'll see you for a post-match on Thursday, I guess.
Yeah. So one last thing for me, and that is we spoke about this shit off air, mate, and we were just going to say that we were looking at potentially doing something with inviting fans to come and join us on the show to talk about various topics.
We should probably talk about this actually on the post-match when people are actually watching, but also here. We are thinking, we're thinking about doing some kind of like invite thing for people who want to be on the pod. We've had a couple of people say, I'd love to be on the podcast. And we are actually getting, I think his name's Chris, sits in front of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to have the Ollie Watkins debate.
Yeah. Because we had it a bit in the stadium, and I was like, we need to do this on the podcast. Like, we need to do a proper debate here. So he's going to come on at some point, probably in the off season, maybe towards the end of the season, depending on how we get on. And so we're thinking about like doing a monthly kind of invite thing. So if you're interested in coming on the podcast, pop it down in the comments. And the main thing is, we're not just going to let any Tom, Dick, or Harry come on. So, like, what do you want to talk about? What's the debate? What's the thing you want to talk about? Do you have, potentially, Gary obviously has stuff with Acorns and stuff that we want to talk about as well. Maybe you actually have an initiative that you want to talk about as well. Get in touch. Let us know. We'll be more than happy to get people on. You don't have to have technical knowledge or anything. It's really easy to get you on here.
Let us know. And we'll talk about this more on the review of this game as well at the start.
Yeah, at the start when people are watching.
Because only about 3 people will be watching this, and one of them will be my wife. So she might want more money. I don't know.
Want to be flange. Yeah. And then there'll be someone else in there, I'm sure. Yeah. Anyway, guys, sing us out, mate.
Le champions!
It's fading out as well.
It went off. No, it's back. Oh, it's gone now. Stupid iPad. Le champions!
Cheers. See ya.